Hi everyone, I want to show you hands down the best way to transfer your notes from Word, notes like this, to PowerPoint. And it doesn't matter if you're a pastor doing a sermon on Sunday, a teacher doing a presentation for class, whatever the need, this is the hands down best way to transfer your notes into PowerPoint, using an add-in software called Impress, short for Important Present. All right, first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to load in those notes that I just showed you. Those are the sermon notes that I do for my pastor each Sunday. He sends the notes over to me and I create the PowerPoint for him. He probably thinks that I work long and hard on this. I really don't. But I do have a template here for it, and if you have templates, great, you can use them, and I do in this case. If you don't have a template, you don't have to worry about using them. It will just create one on the fly for you. So what I'm going to do, there are 4 different options here. Transfer, drop down, overhead, prompter. I'm going to start the prompter because that is the style that we like to use, and scroll by paragraph. Once I click on that, it's going to ask me for a document to load in, and it will start doing its thing. While it's doing its thing, let me tell you a little bit about these 4 different create options. Now, the transfer option is available with a free version. So there's a free version and there's a non-free or a paid version. And the drop-down, overhead, and prompter, what we're doing here is with the paid version. Anyways, so the prompter does this style, and it's basically a teleprompter. I call it PowerPrompter, but basically it will scroll from bottom to top, and you'll see that a little bit later. The overhead style is just like the classic overhead. You know, your professor, your teacher would print their notes out of Word onto a overhead transparency. So it's basically a clear sheet of paper, and they would put it on the overhead and it would project up on the screen. And then what they would do typically is put a piece of paper over the overhead transparency, and then they would pull that piece of paper down as they talked about each point. And then we have the drop down, and that's basically the same thing in reverse. So it just each line of text just animatedly appears on the screen. And then transfer, it doesn't have any animation, so it's just a straight transfer. Now we have a couple of different ways of transferring these documents. One is a Word document. Any document that Word can read, you can transfer here, or at least you should be able to. And then the clipboard, if you are having problems like maybe a PDF and you want to copy text out of a PDF and put it on a PowerPoint presentation, that might be what I would do here. Anyways, that would come in handy for that. Now, all the notes are transferred. Let me show you a little bit how this works. So I'm just going to hit F5 and run the presentation. And here we are. So this is what it looks like once it's done. And I'm clicking to the next slide, and to the next slide, to the next slide. So it just moves the text up and puts the focus on the line that you're talking to. Now you don't have to do that where all the other text that you're not talking about is grayed out, and that would be this option here, fade non-focused. And you can also make the animation faster or slower, alternatively, by these options. Well, I hope you can understand that this is an incredibly useful tool for transferring your sermon, your notes. It doesn't have to be sermon notes, your class notes lecture notes into PowerPoint. It's a whole lot better than copying and pasting every single slide. So anyways, please feel free to leave comments. I will try to address those as I see them. And if you feel led to, like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.